Hi everyone. Um, I thought that the next video was gonna be something a bit more relaxed. Um, but, yeah. So, I have heard people talk about Secret of the Mimic. And people complained about Secret of the Mimic. Not a surprise to me, because what I do know now is that some people just love to complain about literally everything that's going on in the world on the internet. And I'm just like, oh my god, when will this stop? Because I'm quite frankly getting tired of it. I'm serious. I'm just getting tired of pretty much everything going on. Anyway, if you can see on screen about this. What is a contractor? In Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, Edwin is specifically a contractor for Fazbear Entertainment. Well, no, you know. Okay. So what is a contractor? What does it mean to work as a contractor? Contractors are not employees of the client, but are instead hired through a contractual agreement to complete a specific task or project. Contractors may be hired to do short-term or long-term work, and may be hired for a specific skill or expertise that is needed for a project. Okay. I probably might have to add this into my Wattpad story of the timeline involving Five Nights at Freddy's. To put it rather obviously. Oh, sorry. So some people say that they hate the current Five Nights at Freddy's timeline, and that Secret of the Mimic ruined the lore, or just the Mimic ruined the lore, and that Edwin Murray taking the credit for pretty much everything is kind of stupid and downgrades Henry and William. I completely understand that argument. Or that William Afton and Henry Emily stole everything from Edwin. That's not true. The only things that they did steal were employees, and they had the employees steal stuff from Edwin. And a few people were like putting Edwin, Henry, and William in the gray section, like they weren't fully evil, but I can safely say, without a doubt, William Afton is evil. He was born evil. Probably. I mean, Fazbear Entertainment put Edwin in a contract, and that contract made Fazbear Entertainment took advantage of Edwin's work and ruined his life. But mostly it was William's doing. I mean, Henry is not a businessman like William. You have to know that. I mean, you have to wonder, how did Fazbear Entertainment even, first, come into the world of Five Nights at Freddy's in the first place, canonically? Or when did William and Henry decide to start a business together? You really have to wonder. We almost have no information about them, but we know everything about Edwin due to that one game. Actually fleshing out his character. He has a wife, he has a child, he has a wife that where we can actually see what she looks like and what her name is. We know everything about him and how he met his wife. And sorry. Anyway. So yeah, we know everything about Edwin. And as for before Secret of the Mimic came out, there were teasers, Murray's costume manner, like tapes, teasers, and there were characters that people thought that looked very similar to William or Henry, and William and his wife, or Henry and his wife, and there was also a child. But it's pretty obvious that the two characters are Edwin and Fiona. Just them. Not William, not Henry, not anyone else, just Edwin and Fiona. What do you expect? Do William and Henry even appear in the game at all? No, but they are mentioned. Edwin is friends with Henry, but also, by extension, friends with William as well. And, okay, so Chica's Party World was a thing. She was an original character before joining Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But I thought to myself, was Chica's Party World involved with Fazbear Entertainment? It's questionable. I don't know. I don't know if she was, but she did join later on, so that's nice. And Foxy had his own puppet show. He was also an original character by Edwin. And especially due to the books, Edwin had a vacuum. He made vacuums. It wasn't turning out so well. Fazbear Entertainment saw Edwin's saw Edwin's inventions and decided to put him into a contract to pay him it was mostly due to the Fazbear project, but what I would like to call the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria project, where he was commissioned to make William and Henry's designs of the characters, or their ideas, especially a prototype Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Now, to say that Edwin built everything was a bit of a stretch. I can understand how some people said it, but Edwin is a contractor, meaning that he was hired to an agreement to complete a task or project, meaning that Fazbear Entertainment technically owned the rights to Edwin's creations for the project. They owned Bonnie and Freddie. They owned Freddie and Bonnie, but they didn't own Chica and Foxy at first. Well, okay. So there was also Stan's budget tech. Stan was an employee at Murray's Costume Manor, and William stole the employees, including Stan, saying to them that Fazbear Entertainment will hire them and pay them better. So Stan decided to create his own company with another former employee by including stealing them some of the characters, like for example, Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, and maybe even Orville Elephant if he was actually a thing in Secret of the Mimic, which I would include. But as for Pigpatch and Ned Bear, they were specifically original characters made by Stan. I'm not sure. And I just want to say this because I thought of it just now or earlier. But MatPat was technically correct about the mediocre melodies. They did exist in the 1970s, just not Pigpatch and Ned Bear. Just saying. But yeah, also Monty and Roxy were a thing before Security Breach, so that's good. And also, there's a Springlock suit called Bub the Bear, who was a girl, and might obviously be a reference to Sparky the dog, a FNAF 1 hoax. Which, yay, there's actually a confirmed dog animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's, yay! But it's not created by Scott Coffin, though Scott Coffin was credited as a writer for Secret of the Mimic. So yay! Yay! Great for that! But yeah, there's still a bunch of other lore. But Edwin was a contractor for Fazbear Entertainment, mostly for the Fazbear project, involving the classic animatronics and maybe even the prototype Spurlock suits. But Chica the Chicken and Foxy the Pirate Fox had their own separate things going on before joining the Freddy Fazbear gang. So yeah, that's fun. And mediocre melodies, at least most of them, did exist during the 1970s, so that's good. You know, I'm still confused about the endings of Secret of the Mimic. Like, how did Mimic end up in the Pizzaplex in the first place without including the books? That just confuses me. Not like I hate it, but it's confusing. Anyway. Sorry about my speaking. I apologize. My body just hates me. I'm sorry. Okay, the next video will be something a bit more relaxing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did not, that's totally fine. I have nothing against it. Please stay at home. Stay away from protests. Stay away from segregated areas. And don't forget to smile. Okay, bye.